to the Concern podcast, where we unpack political, socio-economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I'm Emmanuel Taban, and on this section of our video or podcast, I want us to look at the decision made by the President of the Republic of South Sudan, His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, where yesterday he promoted the Vice President leading the economic cluster, Dr. Benjamin BOL.MEL, as a full general in the National Security Service of the country. Now, in this video, just a disclaimer, this video is not to critique or to criticize the decision made by President Kiir in promoting Mel into a position of a full general. But this video is mainly to just try to analyze and give you a very quick view of how Mel will now become so much powerful. I mean, it's not to criticize the decision, it's not either to criticize Mel being in that position, but it's to explain to you how Mel will now be a very influential figure in the affairs of the country. And before we continue, if this is your first time watching this channel, please don't hesitate to hit the subscription button and also leave your comment about this, about what you think about our videos. It's a way of making this channel grow. And thank you so much for your support. And yeah, I remain Emmanuel Taban. But quick into the reasons of this video. As I said, yesterday, the President of the Republic of South Sudan, Salva Kiir Mayardit, has taken another step in favor of Mel, promoting him into the position of a full general in the national security sector or service of the country. Now, there is no doubt that Dr. Benjamin BOL.MEL will go down in history of South Sudan as one of the few individuals in the country that have actually seen favor in the eyes of the President of the Republic of South Sudan. I mean, in less than 1 year, Mel has witnessed significant promotion into not only minor positions, but major positions of the country. And that tells you how, loyal he is to Kiir, and that clearly tells you how Kiir sees Mel, a very, very reliable guy to him, a guy that he trusts. You know, no one will ever give you power. No one will ever give you such promotions if they don't trust you, if they don't have any intentions to you. But this is not, again, the intentions of this video. Now, as I said, that Mel is one of the few South Sudanese who will actually, who have actually seen favor in the eyes of the president. I mean, in less than 1 year, remember in February this year, President Salva Kiir Mayardit promoted Mel from his initial position of being the position that is recently being occupied by a special, an advisory position into a position of vice president, replacing Dr. General James Waniga. So in February, Kiir appointed Mel into the position of vice president, leading the economic cluster. And just after 3 months, in May, Mel was again given another significant and influential position. And this time around, it's not in the executive, but in the party's structure. And that is when in May, Salva Kiir Mayardit promoted Mel again into a position of first vice chairperson of the SPLM political party. And now, yesterday, again, in less than 5 months, from when he was promoted into a very prominent position in the political party, President Kiir again promoted Mel into a full general in the security service, in the national security service sector of the country. Now, these are all different, sectors in the country that are very, very prominent in deciding, affairs of the country. One, being a vice president, Mel is a member of the executive. Very influential. He's not just an ordinary person, he is a vice president. Now, being a vice president, a member of the executive, and also leading the economic cluster, what does it mean? It means Mel is not just an ordinary vice president. He has influence because, one, according to the revitalized agreement on the resolution of conflict on South Sudan that was made in 2018 in Addis Ababa, the agreement provided that the vice president leading the economic cluster will be supervising all the other ministries that fall under this cluster. And when we're talking about the ministries that fall under this sector, we're talking about the Minister of Finance and Planning, the Minister of Investment, the Minister of Trade, the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Security, Minister of Tourism and Minister of Fisheries, Irrigation, Minister of Petroleum. So being a vice president leading the economic cluster literally means that Mel is above all these ministries, including the ministers that are leading these ministries, because it is Mel who supervises all these ministries. So Mel is above all the ministers heading these ministries. That's how powerful Mel is. He is a vice president leading the economic cluster, meaning all the ministries that fall under the economic cluster are under his supervision. That's how powerful. And when we're talking about the Ministry of Finance and Planning, we're talking about the economy of the country. That's how powerful Mel has become in the executive. Second of all, being a member of the SPLM party and a first vice chairperson of the party, that means he has influence within the political party, and that is SPLM, the major political party of the country. He has powers to influence decisions made in the party. That takes us out. I mean, we have moved out from the executive, being a very influential figure in the executive of the country, now to the political party. Being the first vice president of the SPLM party means Mel is literally going to have also be a very influential figure in the party. And according to the constitution of the SPLM party, the SPLM party comprises of major structures. One, on the national level, we have the National Convention, we have the National Liberation Council, we have the Political Bureau and the Secretariat. These are three major organs in the national level for the SPLM political party, leave alone the state level, leave alone the county, the BOMA, the PIAMs and all this. On the national level, we have these major organs: the National Convention, the National Liberation Council, the Political Bureau, and the Secretariat. These four. And Mel being the first vice president, the first vice chairperson of the SPLM party, by that virtue, it gives him the power to be a member, very influential member, or a deputy, one of the three, because according to the SPLM constitution, the National Liberation Council constitutes of the chairperson of the party, who is President Kiir, and then the three deputies, of which Mel is one of them. So he is going to be a very prominent figure in the Liberation Council, the National Liberation Council, not just an ordinary, but he's going to be like a member making major decisions. He is also, by the virtue of being the first vice chairperson of the party, he's going to be a very influential figure in the political bureau organ. That's in the national level. And that is only in the political party. We have looked at how powerful he is in the executive, being a minister, a vice president leading the economic cluster. We have looked at how he's going to be powerful in the political party, the Sudan People Liberation Movement, and being the first vice chairperson. By that virtue, he qualifies to be a member of the Liberation Council. He qualifies to be a member of the Political Bureau, which is a very significant organ of the SPLM political party that makes major decisions of the party. That is two. Number three, with his recent promotion into the role of a full general in the National Security Service of the, according to the National Security Service Act 2014, that act provided for the establishment of the National Security Service, of which has two major organs. One is that the first one is the National Security Council, and the second one is the two operational organs, that is the General Intelligence and then the Internal Security Bureau, of which Mel being a full general and the first vice president, the vice president leading the economic cluster, probably it's going to make him again be part of the National Security Council, which is one of the organs of the National Security Service. So, according to the National Security Service Act, the establishment of the National Security Council constitutes of members, of which one is the president, and the second one is also the deputy, the vice president of the country. And because the act was established in 2014, it couldn't actually foresee that South Sudan will have more than one vice president, which is a situation right now. So it only says that the council will constitute the president as a chairperson and then the vice president as a deputy. So, but since the act did not specify which vice president exactly is going to be member of the National Security Council, so it's going to be up to Kiir to decide. And with the issue of Machar being suspended, if you were to look at the vice president that are existing right now, obviously, being one of Kiir's favorite, he would go for Mel as being member of the National Security Council. And just for context, being a general in the National Security Service does not mean that Mel will have powers to go and command maybe in the battlefield. No, he will be a senior member of the National Security Service that will be making major decisions. Of the country will have influence over the directors of all the organs. I mean, the national security, the internal, the General Intelligence Bureau and the Internal Security Bureau. He will be so influential in that. So that's how powerful Mel will be. He will be powerful not in the executive as the vice president leading the economic sector, but also he will be a very powerful figure in the SPLM party the SPLM party, because he is the first chairperson, the first deputy chairperson, or the first vice chairperson of the SPLM party. And being a full general in the National Security Service, so he will also have powers in things to do with the intelligence and security of the country. So that's how powerful Mel will be. And just again, as a disclaimer, this video is not to oppose Kiir's decision of making Mel as a general or making him as the vice president in the economic cluster or the vice chairperson of the SPLM party. No, it is simply to analyze how powerful Mel will be holding all these positions. And as I said, that he is among the few people who have actually found favors in the eyes of the president, and he will go down in history as one of those people. So that's all about this video, and thank you so much for watching. And again, if this is your first time watching my video, please never fail to hit the subscription button, and you will be informed about more videos coming. And again, until next time, I remain Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, socio-economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. Until next time, I still remain Emmanuel Taban, and thank you for watching. Thank you so much.